In a world of horror, countless hours of cinema, what is truly terrifying? What will keep the kids up at night? What scene can never be unseen? Join us as we watch everything horror and discover the 13 degrees of screams.
Welcome to 13 Degrees of Screams.
We're your hosts, Stephanie.
And Alex.
And this week we use a tanning bed to revive a dead guy in Lisa Frankenstein.
So, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Have you seen Lisa Frankenstein before we watched it for the podcast?
No, I haven't.
Thoughts?
I liked it.
Did you?
I thought it was fun. Silly, but fun.
Yes. I liked it. However, I think it was all vibes.
Yeah.
Like, it was pure vibes.
It was pure vibes. There was no, rationale throughout the whole thing.
No.
No consequences, nothing.
Which, I don't necessarily think you need that. Like, this is a very absurdist movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I was actually, towards the end, I don't think I liked Lisa all that much.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, what are you doing?
Yeah. She was a little oblivious, but I don't know. I kind of liked she was just girl bossing around, just this works for me now.
Yeah. No, I guess. I don't know. It was weird. It was just like...
I was 50-50 on her by the end, but then I was also she eventually got there.
Yeah. It was just...
Maybe kind of the wrong way, but...
Yeah, I get... Yeah. No, I think
the end result was what I was expecting.
Yeah, end result, I feel like the character arc was, backloaded, where it was okay, she's, this weird girl, kind of, and then she got kind of, what's the word? She wasn't, pompous, but kind of arrogant, almost.
Yeah.
She had this weird transformation, and we'll talk about it in the plot, where she just started, dressing cool all of a sudden. And I don't see, what made that transition happen outside of she killed... Spoiler, people died.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how she changed.
Mm-hmm.
Her attitude changed, where she didn't fucking care about anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, some shitty shit happened to her. I'm not saying...
Right.
I understand that. But then at the very end, in the last, 5 minutes, she was I will basically atone for what happened. That was the vibe I got. I don't know if I'm wrong.
I think it's just, you have to be in, the mindset of a teenager, especially, a teenager that went through, serious trauma, and then people are still, no one gives a damn about you anyway. She's not getting, the support she needs at home. She's not getting support. She doesn't have friends. I can definitely see this being, without all the murder and everything, I guess, and a dead guy. But I could definitely see the path of being so arrogant, and above it all, because this is the only way you can cope.
Really? Because I would see the other way where she's such despair. I don't know.
I think that's kind of how she starts in the beginning.
Yeah, I just don't know at what point in the movie, and maybe you could point it out for me.
Yeah, sure.
That she turned she wears her sister's costume, and then all of a sudden she starts dressing weirdly. Although
he inspires her, he actually picks that out for her or something like that, and then all of a sudden, he tells her you should try this or something like that in a way.
Except he doesn't actually say that at all.
Yeah, no. Well, he just gives it to her as a suggestion, and she's oh, I can't wear that. It's taffy's or whatever, and then she wears it, and then it becomes a thing.
Well, let me rephrase it then. I don't see what he did outside of handing her something. That, and so, you know what I'm saying? I just don't understand.
I think all she needed was someone to support her. It really didn't matter who it was. And
yeah, I see that. No, I feel her personality just did a 180, and it fell out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I could see you saying, talking it out where it's coming from. I just think the execution wasn't quite there for me.
Yeah.
But I will say, it was a fun time. It was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the jokes fell a little flat. But if you're going in expecting any sort of cohesion or any sort of logic behind this...
Yeah, I thought there would be a lot more what if the police find out kind of situation. No, it's not really a big deal.
She does not give a shit. No. So I would say it's definitely worth watching. It's a good time. Mm-hmm. But by the end, I was that's not what I expected. Yeah. It gave me... You know what it weirdly gave me? Vibe-wise, kind of Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, I kind of got that, too. It was, very Tim Burton-y, just, you just have to suspend disbelief. Yeah,
it was a fun time. It wasn't as good as I was hoping or thought, but the music was good. Like I said, some of the sequences were really cool. The cinematography was fun. Mm-hmm. It captured the 80s very well. Not that I lived during the 80s, but,
it was the vibe.
It was the vibe. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. So only just an okay?
I would say okay to goodish.
Okay. Because I'd watch it again. I liked it.
I don't know if I'd watch it again on my own.
Really? Okay.
I don't know. Let me think about it. I just recently watched it. Like, I waited towards the end for recording. So maybe I just have to sit on it a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's been like, I think I watched this first, and it was like weeks ago at this point.
It just felt off. Something about it just felt off.
I will say, while I watched it, the whole time I was like, so we're not going to question that? Or we're like...
I think that's what it is.
There's like several points where I was like, oh, we're just moving past that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because especially since she gets wrapped up in killing people, basically, and having the traumatic past that she does, I'm like, so that doesn't affect you at all? You're not going to think about, like, how you're the same as that person? Like,
right, exactly. And, yeah, because there's some things, and again, I like absurd stuff, but if it's done correctly, and I feel like they went for that, and I couldn't tell you how to execute it in a way that makes sense. But, like, things just happen. I'm like, well, you wouldn't react that way. Like, when people die, literally no fucks given.
Right.
Like, I would think, at least the first time, there'd be some sort of trauma there.
Yeah, no.
Freaking out, not a thing. Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Honestly,
what are you doing?
Like, the longer I sat with it, the more I just, like, categorized it with, like, dark shadows and stuff that has, like, that supernatural element, but no one really gives a shit that it's out of place in real life.
I think that's what it is. I think you actually just kind of nailed it on that. The supernatural part and just accepting that, I have no issue with. It's like the real elements, like when you kill somebody and you have no reaction, that's where I'm like taken out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I could totally get that you accepted that there's a dead guy walking around now. That's fun. That's fine. But like when you kill somebody and you have no reaction.
And you're just like, let's just move on.
I think that's what it is. I think there's a good way to combine the two where like you just accept the supernatural elements and it's like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. But then still have those. I feel like there was no like human moment. Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
I will say at the very beginning, when she's at the party and stuff, that like I was really engrossed in with that guy.
Yeah.
They did that part very well. But it was everything after that. I was like,
this isn't a human moment.
Right.
Yeah.
I couldn't like phrase what was wrong with this to me, but having talked about it, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. And I think I have that sort of issue, I guess, with their relationship. But again, I just kind of like suspended just because of how fantastical the whole movie is.
Yeah.
It was kind of like always endgame. It didn't matter how they got there and they were together at the end. Yes, exactly. Yes. But it didn't matter really how they got there. It was just going to be how it was at the end. So
yeah, anything that involved him, I was like, that's fine. Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
But like when Lisa, you yourself, well, I guess she didn't actually. Well, we'll get there with the plot. But...
Yeah. No, we'll talk about it.
Okay. You ready to hear some movie background?
Yeah, let's do it.
Lisa Frankenstein is a 2024 American comedy horror film that marks Zelda Williams' debut as a feature-length director with a screenplay written by Diablo Cody. So did you know this was directed by Zelda Williams?
No. I think I saw in like an interview that Cole Sprouse did that this was supposed to be taken in the same universe as Jennifer's Body.
Yeah, I might actually mention that.
Yeah, I saw that a little later. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
But that's cool.
I
don't know what else.
I've never seen Jennifer's Body, so I guess I don't really get it.
Yeah, so Diablo Cody wrote Jennifer's Body, but Zelda Williams, this is her first movie.
Oh,
You know who Zelda Williams is, right?
No, I don't.
Robin Williams' daughter.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, you're like, no idea.
Oh, no, I had no idea who she was.
Zelda Williams is Robin Williams' daughter.
Oh, no.
So this is her first directorial debut.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
Good for you, honey.
Work, bitch. All right. The movie stars Katherine Newton as Lisa, who we just watched in Abigail.
As Sammy, yeah.
And I like her
and
a lot.
she was our fan fave.
Yeah, I know. Not so much in this, but, you know. She's Lisa, and then we got Cole Sprouse as the Frankenstein character.
Yeah.
You like Cole Sprouse, don't you? Or no?
Not as a person, but...
What do you do as a person?
Oh, he's kind of a crappy person
in
real
he?
life. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Oh, snap. Never mind.
Yeah, he just kind of acts pompous and... You know, like he smokes in the interviewer's face when he gets interviewed and stuff like that. Yeah. And,
Bitch.
And,
don't do that.
And like assumes like every girl wants to date him.
Oh,
he seems like a lot, but I like the roles that he plays.
Jughead.
Yeah, because we like him in Riverdale.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that's upsetting.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, but I've heard he's kind of scummy.
Cole. Douche canoe. Anyways, The storyline revolves around a misunderstood teenage goth girl, although not really goth at first.
Kind of a transitional goth girl.
Yeah, transitional goth girl who forms a relationship with a reanimated Victorian-era corpse. Cody has mentioned that Lisa Frankenstein shares the same fictional universe as Jennifer's Body, although I kind of do want to cover Jennifer's Body.
Okay, I'd be into it.
Because actually, not to get into Jennifer's Body now, but I think it was panned by critics, or like people didn't like it at first, and now it has like a really big cult following.
Yeah, I know it's a big like LGBTQ thing now.
Yay! Yes. The film premiered in the United States through Focus Features on February 9th of 2024 and received mixed reception from critics. While some have speculated that the title Lisa Frankenstein is a fusion of Lisa Frank, a company known for its vibrant stickers and school supplies, and Frankenstein, Cody has clarified that this wordplay was unintentional. And I do not believe that for a second. How would you pick the name Lisa?
Yeah.
Come on. Because Nick watched this with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's like a mix of Lisa Frank and Frankenstein. Like, that's what the first thing I said, and apparently not.
No?
I don't
really?
believe it. I don't believe it.
I don't know. I don't know about it being unintentional. I don't know if I see the Lisa Frank, though, but...
What do you mean you don't see the Lisa Frank?
With, like, the stickers and school supplies, it's, like, really colorful and everything, and I just feel like
the wordplay of Lisa Frank, and then...
Okay.
Not the actual aesthetic.
Okay.
But just the wordplay of it. But apparently not. In reality, the name plays homage to a character in the 1985 film Weird Science, directed by John Hughes, as both movies involve protagonists bringing their fantasy love interest to life.
Oh.
Weird Science. Have you ever seen Weird Science?
No.
It's fun.
It is?
Weird Science.
Is that the song?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll play you the song later.
Oh, gosh.
I love it.
You have so much to play me already.
Weird Science. Okay, anyways. So on Rotten Tomatoes, it does have a 51%, with the critical consensus stating, an affectionate callback to classic horror comedies of the 80s, Lisa Frankenstein can be fun in its own right despite not quite measuring up to the movies it imitates.
Damn. Kind of harsh.
That's how I feel, though. I get it. I guess. But it also has an audience score of 81%, so that's higher. It says, Lisa Frankenstein is an overall entertaining horror rom-com whose silly sense of humor and heavy 80s vibes help make up for an emphasis on style over substance, which I also agree with.
Okay. I guess I could see it being somewhere in the middle between the critic consensus and the audience says, because, like, especially if you think of, like, 80s classic horror movies, like, I feel like I think of, like, Teen Wolf or something like that. You remember? Did you ever watch that?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that would be a good 80s comparison or something to this.
Have you ever seen Teen Witch?
Who's in it?
I don't know, but that's a fun movie.
I could see.
Okay. I think it's, like, Teen Wolf, and then there was, like, Teen Witch. It was kind of like the same kind of thing.
But like, I think of it being, like, the goofiness and stuff, but I feel like this kind of overarched with, like, the seriousness of killing people.
Yeah. And again, I like the mix of that.
Yeah.
It just didn't land.
Maybe it was just trying to be too much at once,
Maybe.
I think. Like, it was like, let's be, like, fun 80s horror, but also, like, let's be dark and serious.
But there was, like, no dark and serious.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you were trying, but overall, especially for the first directorial debut, it wasn't bad.
Oh, yeah. No, I still liked it. Yeah, obviously.
For sure.
Are you ready for the plot?
I am.
In the opening titles, we're shown a black and white illustration seeming to be the depiction of a man's life, starting off with his parents' death, growing up to be a musician, falling in love with a woman who later leaves him for another man, and then dying after being struck by lightning.
I really enjoyed the opening credits.
I liked it too.
It was fun. I love that one part. I think it was his ex-lover and the guy, like, flying away in the distance.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? They're like, it's just, like, going.
Yes.
I actually didn't realize the movie had started. I thought it was, like, a production house.
Oh, right.
Like, title sequence, you know?
Like the Blumhouse thing where it shows a bunch of creepy stuff.
And then I'm like, oh, no, this is the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
But I enjoyed it. I really liked the animation.
Yeah, it's a nice way to depict his past without really saying it. We move on to 1989 as Lisa Swallows. I didn't realize her last name was that.
Swallows.
That's awful.
That's
one of those names where I'm like, no matter what you pick as the first name, it's still going to be the last name.
It's the last name that does it, man.
It's going to be the problem.
Actually, forget whatever that vampire's name was in Abigail. My new last name is Swallows.
Oh, no.
Alex Swallows.
Okay, broadcasting.
That's me. Alex Swallows here to talk about horror movies.
Ooh, okay. A misunderstood and often overlooked teenager is gravestone etching in a bachelor's cemetery.
She's not like other girls.
Mm-hmm. I've also never heard of a cemetery being referred to by, like, the particular dead that live there. Or
I
that
know.
are, like, buried there.
I've never heard that either, but maybe it's a thing and they just don't know about
They're
it.
like, all the dudes that never had a wife, never put a ring on it, they go here.
If you liked it, you should put a ring on it.
I guess
But now you're dead.
Yes. We soon understand why Lisa's troubled, as she witnessed her mother's murder 2 years prior, and to make matters worse, her father Dale quickly remarried a hateful narcissist named Janet.
Janet's my favorite.
Janet's awful.
Carla Gugino? I love that actress.
Oh, yeah. She is funny, but it's also like, wow, you're the worst person
She's the
ever.
worst person ever, but I love every second she's on screen.
Yes. I love the stepdaughter. However, Lisa found an unlikely friend in her new stepsister, Taffy, a popular girl from school.
Taffy is
She a real one. Yeah.
She is. Like, it's funny because I think they did a really good job with her character. Because you think she's like a bitchy, like, cheerleader type trope.
Yeah.
But she, like, legitimately cares about Lisa.
Right. And then I was like, oh, it's really clear that this is just going to be a typical, your dad remarries and your whole step family hates you kind of thing, because she goes to this party in the very beginning, and then that's how we find out that her mom was murdered. Because she's literally telling one girl that's like, what's the deal with Lisa? And then every time they cut back to her and the girl, like, they show this flashback of what happened. Another girl has joined the other girl. So eventually she's telling, like, 4 or 5 girls all this. And it seems like she's gossiping about her sister, which I guess she is, but she really does have good intentions for her sister.
So, like, at first you're like, oh, no, she's like that. But then by the end of it, I'm like, Taffy, I feel bad for her. She goes through it. Although, I mean, she does kind of do something. Not so great. But still, like, she didn't deserve what happened to her at the end. Yeah.
No, she is, like, the least problematic, really. And I guess which is surprising in this kind of a story arc.
Yeah, but I think that was a really good subversion of the trope.
Yeah, I like that. After being electrocuted by their tanning bed, Lisa attends a party with Taffy where she's accidentally drugged by her crush, Michael, and her classmate, Doug, attempts to sexually assault her.
Dude. This is the part I was talking about. Like, they did a really good job conveying what happened.
Yeah,
like,
really.
She, like, walks out of the room, and it's kind of, I mean, she's also high. But they also do, like, a lot of light effects, and she's, like, walking through. It's done really well.
Yeah, and her reaction to it and stuff, like how she just kind of runs to the cemetery. So, like, she's able to push past him and leaves distraught, returning to the bachelor cemetery to tell the grave of a young man that died in 1837 that she wishes she were with him, but actually she means she were dead.
I thought she meant she loved him, too.
Yeah, I kind of thought so, too.
I was like, I think we all were confused.
Yeah.
Like, everyone thought that.
Everyone was not clear on what was needed here.
What's your intention? Like, what do you want? You want to be with him. Right. That's what I thought, too. So
I thought, I guess maybe, though, when I, like, looked at the situation or something like that, I was like, the gravity, I'm like, I think she wishes she were dead.
Oh, for sure. But the phrasing.
Yeah, no, it did come across as like, oh.
Love me, dead man. If I had $1 for every dead man I was in love with.
Right. Just so many dollars.
So many dollars.
Once Lisa leaves, the grave is struck with green lightning, bringing the man back as a zombie. And yeah, you're right with how the transition and stuff as she runs home after she goes to the cemetery, like she breaks the bathroom mirror or something like that. Like she's just really distraught. And I don't even really know how she breaks the bathroom mirror now that I think about it. But
there's something at it. Obviously.
Yeah, I think she just does it in a rage or whatever.
Yeah, she's mad. I mean, rightfully so. And then this is a moment that I was talking about, like she's showing the proper emotion for the situation.
Yeah, to be attacked by someone that she trusted, because this was like her lab partner in one class or something like that. And he seemed like he was trying to be nice, and then he gets her alone, immediately touches her boob. Like, yeah.
When I saw Doug again, and I guess a good job at bait and switch, because I was like, oh, he's going to be like the nerdy, like sidekick character. Oh, no.
Fuck Doug.
Fuck Doug, man. Doug's the worst.
Doug deserves what he gets.
Oh, he 100% deserves what happens to him, yes.
Yeah. So the zombie that has arisen, known only as Creature, breaks into Lisa's home. She's obviously terrified because her mother died from a break-in, but once she realizes he's from the grave she visits, she decides to hide him in her closet.
She's like, tight.
She's like, oh, it's you.
Okay, we're cool.
Yeah. The creature is mute, missing body parts, I assumed due to decay, and is covered in bugs and dirt, yet he still believes he was brought back to be with Lisa, which, fair. Like, we didn't get it.
Right.
Which she doesn't reciprocate, but she does want to be friends with him and, keep him around, even though he's way too dirty. I'd be like, excuse me.
Dirt is the least of the problem.
The bugs falling off of you, you need to go.
Decayed
The smell. Oh, yeah. Every time he cries a couple of times, and she's like, are you crying? Are you crying? Oh,
stop.
Oh, stop.
You smell like hot ass. Please stop.
Yeah.
You smell like hot ass.
Yeah.
Make it stop.
Yeah, you would have to go. When the family returns home, Lisa claims the mess made by Creature is due to a burglar breaking in, but Janet claims that it is all a ploy for attention by recreating her mother's murder scene. And I was like, bitch, you went there?
What?
You can't just go there.
In what world, Janet?
And I can't believe the dad didn't, like, clock her on it and be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, I might have had my wife killed to be with you, but you can't just say that.
Right, and the dad doesn't fucking care. He's the worst, too.
This whole family is so absentee. Like, she has, like, a little part-time job, like, sewing or something at a tailor, or even, like, a laundromat or something. And she comes home and she's like, what's for dinner? And they're like, oh, I think there's, like, a piece of pizza left. Like, they didn't even consider, like, oh, by the way, we have another child that we need to feed by law.
Yeah, no, it's fine. She's fine.
Yeah.
No food for her.
Yeah, so they always just count her out, basically, which is upsetting and sad. Which, honestly, I was kind of waiting for the big reveal to be that her dad had her mom killed to be with Janet just because of how quickly he remarried. Yeah. I was kind of expecting it, especially with this sort of story.
You don't know anything.
Yeah, no. I still assume that, honestly. I'm like, he just seems like he doesn't care about her whatsoever.
No. So. He doesn't care that Lisa's going through it. He doesn't seem to be going through it at all, so probably did it.
Yeah. Fan theory. He did it.
Fan theory.
The next day, while Lisa's at school to avenge Lisa, Creature leaves a worm in Janet's food, but this only makes her more spiteful towards Lisa. She confronts Lisa in her room, threatening to send her to an asylum, but then Creature jumps out of the closet, kills her, and cuts off her ear. And I was like, whoa, what are we doing?
Killing people, Steph. We're ready to go.
They're taking the ear. I was like, whoa, why the ear? I didn't realize he was missing the ear at that point, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, at one point, they, like, brush his hair out, and she's like, never mind, and she puts his hair back.
So
I knew as soon as that happened, I'm like, okay, so now we're going to start collecting the body parts. Okay.
Yeah, well, I got that with the missing hand. I was like, yeah, that's for sure going to happen. I just guess I missed the ear part.
That's fine.
After the initial shock of her stepmother's murder, which literally this lasts for 30 seconds.
And even then, she's like, oh no.
Oh no. Let's do something. Lisa and Creature hide the body at the cemetery, which is perfectly timed, in hindsight, considering Janet was due to leave town for a business trip. Lisa takes Janet's ear and sews it on Creature's head, but he can't hear out of it. They then realize that if they use the tanning bed to electrocute him, the new body part attached will become one with him. So they won't be able to use it. I'm like, this is so weird. Shit, yeah.
And also, every time he uses it, he becomes more and more...
less gross looking.
Alive?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not how decaying skin works.
Right.
We don't just reverse that all of a sudden. But okay, so now the whole gimmick, I guess, is the electrocution from the tanning bed.
Yeah, the electrocution that killed him is now reviving him.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
The next day, Lisa lures Doug to the cemetery so the Creature can cut off his right hand. Then Creature kills Doug and hides his body with Janet. So I'm like, we're just going to do two back to back?
Yeah, why not? This is the thing. I mean, you already did the one. You kind of broke the seal on that. Just like, keep going.
Rip the Band-Aid off. Let's do it.
Ready to go. Let's go!
Also, it seems the more they use the tanning bed to sync up new parts, the more Creature looks normal, and he and Lisa appear to bond. At home, Lisa's father and Taffy become worried about Janet not returning from her trip, therefore launching a full-fledged investigation. I will say that there's like a little funny bit where they call the police, and they're describing her to the police. Like, they're like, what's her hair color? Have you ever seen a brown lab in the sun? And it mixes with yellows and reds and blacks, and you're like, what are you saying?
And then they're like, so brown.
Yeah.
And then, do you remember Taffy like, yeah, she's a bitch.
Yes.
Okay, but this is the part. So, at some point, Taffy mentions the mom's earrings.
Oh,
the studs. And I thought for sure, at some point, when Creature is more human-like, she's going to see him with those earrings in.
Yeah.
I thought I would have bet money. And then that's how she finds out what's going on.
I wonder if they had that written in at one point and then they just didn't use the other shot to prove that,
or like
to make it come full circle.
Because like, they focus so much on the ear. And then that's like the one thing they mentioned that the mom owns was the studded earrings.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's
true.
I'm like, oh yeah. So Taffy's going to see him sometime. He's going to see the same studded earrings. And then Taffy's going to find out what happened. But that never happens.
No.
I'm like, shoot the gun, man. You show the gun, you got to shoot the gun.
Yeah.
You show the ear, you got to shoot the ear.
Also, so I'm not trying to paint Taffy in a bad light because she really is a good stepsister, honestly. But it's funny because Taffy comes to Lisa about like, oh, I think my mom's missing. I'm really concerned about it. And I know you understand and you're still sad about your dead mom, but I'm really worried or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically saying my mom's more important.
Yeah, it came out wrong.
It did, but it was just like, it was funny, but also like, oh, okay, Taffy.
Taffy don't say that.
Creature feels guilty for the murders, but Lisa assures him that they did the right thing after a bad musical rendition of I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore. Like, not a singer. She is not a singer.
You know what? She tried.
Yes.
Tried her best.
Well, honestly, like putting on a performance pretending that you can't sing. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Creature accompanying on piano. At school, Lisa and another goth student are questioned by the police about Doug's disappearance. Lisa narrowly avoids being implicated, and knowing someone will figure it out sooner rather than later, she decides to prioritize losing her virginity to her crush Michael.
And also, this other goth girl was the bitch who drugged her.
Yeah, I guess technically. Like
she gave her the drink.
Yeah, they don't really mention.
Yeah, she's such a non-factor. Like,
and I was like, why does she even matter, really?
Why does she hate Lisa so much?
Right.
Like, what's happening?
I guess stealing her vibe? I don't know.
Yeah, so there's this character who shows up in like 2 scenes, and she's just like, Lisa did it. Like, more or less. I'm like, what's your problem? I don't even know her name. Who are you?
Right. I don't have a name for her, just Goth Girl. I think her name is Stephanie, actually. Maybe.
Stephanie.
It might be.
Girl, I don't even know, but she sucks, and she's not even important, so.
Right.
Bang.
Yeah. That's why it was just easier to simplify, because, like, it was when she was hanging out with Michael and her, but...
Yeah. No, I know. I just wanted to point that out, because, again, this girl just comes out of nowhere, and she's just the worst, so...
So, Lisa and her bad priorities. So, she's worried that the police are going to close in on her, so she's like, I could be in jail any moment, so I better go ahead and get to losing this virginity, bro. And she tells Creature all of this, even though they're not dating per se, but they are sort of having, like, a friends with benefits relationship.
They fucking? Not
they
yet.
have, like, that weird scene with the back massager that implies, like, he helped her with some things.
Yeah, I mean, don't your friends help you with those things?
No.
Oh. Anyway.
No friends that I have.
Yeah, she's very sex positive.
Yeah.
Lisa's like always like trying to get it off. I'm like, good for you, honestly.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it really does a nice job with portraying like how teenage girls really are and stuff too. Like, they think about sex too, you know.
Wait, what? Females have sex?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, sometimes.
They also don't poop.
Yeah.
I don't believe
they
it.
They don't fart. They don't poop.
I knew it.
They don't think about sex.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Just all puppies and rainbows.
And dead boys.
And dead boys, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Checks out.
So she and Creature aren't necessarily platonic, so it's kind of weird that she tells him, and that's why I was kind of, like, put off by the kindlings of their relationship, because, like, again, we know that they're going to be together in the end, and it just seems like Lisa's kind of a bitch, in a way. Like, she literally tells them while they're sitting in bed, post him helping her orgasm, to be frank.
To be Lisa Frank.
Yes, to be Lisa Frank about it.
To be fair, he's still a corpse.
I guess that's true.
So, they're just really close, Steph. Like, they're just really close friends. Who share those moments together.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, close friends, besties.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, the next day, Lisa goes to Michael's house to give herself to him, quote unquote, but finds him in bed with Taffy. Yeah.
Taffy, no!
Taffy, no.
This is the thing Taffy does that's not good.
Yeah. So she kind of knows that she has a crush on Michael, but it's not like they're really talking or anything either.
That's the thing.
So
they're not together, so it's not like she cheated on... I mean, it's a shitty thing, I guess, but like...
Yeah.
Fair game, I guess.
Right. It's weird.
It is.
It is. And Lisa does make a good point when she's confronting him. Like, she's, of course, really upset because, you know, she's just walked in on this, and she's like, of course a guy like you that's all deep and poetic and everything would like a popular girl that has no thoughts just so then you can talk to her. Not that you guys can share a conversation about things that you like and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's a pretty good burn,
but
honestly.
Also, but then that contradicts things because, like, again, we're shown Taffy at first. And you're like, oh, she's going to be this shitty character, blah, 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 blah. Then you find out she's not, but then now you're boiling her back down to...
I guess that's true.
What we thought she could be. But I get the...
Yeah, the sentiment.
But we're shown throughout the movie that she's not like that, so then it just seems weird that Lisa would pin her in that light.
I think it's probably just, like, the shock of it all and everything.
Like, she feels
betrayed.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. No, I totally get it, but, like, from an audience perspective, I'm like, oh...
Yeah.
She's not like that, though. She's popular, yeah, of course, but...
No, I just thought it was a fair burn, though.
No, it is. It's a good one. I'm like, get her, girl. Yeah. But also, at the same point, just...
Yeah, she's really not like that. Taffy is not... Despite what I've said about her, she's not a bad person, really. Watch the movie, you'll see.
Yeah, she's not... I mean, she's not great, but she's also not, like bad. She's not the typical bad stepsister.
I think it's also because everyone else, aside from Creature... really is only doing, at best, 20% with Lisa. And Taffy's, like, doing 80.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would say at least 60.
Yeah, at least. So then it makes it seem like, wow, Taffy's great. Like,
oh, shit, Stephanie. Now, we're more invested with Taffy, I feel. Maybe Taffy isn't that great, but in comparison, she seems so much better.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Because everyone else in the town sucks.
Yeah, shit. Maybe
everyone
Taffy
else is mean to her or doesn't talk to her or acknowledge her, so yeah.
Maybe in a vacuum Taffy does. I don't know. Anyways, we can stop
Maybe
harping.
we've been tricked and we just don't realize. Maybe Taffy really is a bad popular girl and we're just like, wow, that Taffy. which is how the rest of the town is disillusioned with her too. Mm-hmm. Like Lisa's running from Creature when he first rises from the dead or something like that, and she's screaming, running through the yard. And the neighbors are like, oh, that girl's screaming outside the house. And it's a couple. And then the guy's like, oh, is it the pretty Taffy girl? No, it's the other one. And they're like, oh. She's weird. And they just, ignore her.
And she's, very clearly being chased by a dead person.
Yes.
It's fine. That was funny.
That's why I'm like, maybe we've been disillusioned, the town, and we're like, yeah, that Taffy's really something.
Stephanie, no!
Yeah.
We've been bamboozled!
We've been bamboozled by a mediocre Taffy.
Womp womp.
Anyway, so we're getting back to Lisa, confronting Michael about this, and Creature comes in afterwards, cutting off Michael's penis. It's sudden. Wow. All of a sudden we go for that. Causing him to bleed to death, right away. He's dead.
Michael, I mean, just gotta die.
Right. You're worthless to us now. He drives to the cemetery, and Lisa, with a traumatized Taffy in tow, follows. And Lisa believes that, she looks like... Wow. She's covered in blood. She's not blinking.
No.
Lisa believes she should go after Creature to kill him, but before leaving, she gives Taffy her late mother's rosary as a token for being her friend when nobody else was. So even though she felt betrayed by Taffy in the moment, she more or less felt betrayed by Michael, I guess, if anybody, it seemed, which I'm like, I don't know if even Michael knew what was going on.
No, he had no idea. Oh, he just got his dick bit off for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Lisa confronts Creature, who admits he's in love with her and took Michael's penis so they could have sex. They're nearly discovered by a policewoman, but they toss her into an open grave. I was like, oh, okay, goodbye.
This is what I'm talking about. That was not...
Yeah.
She didn't deserve that.
She just gets belly flopped into the grave. She's probably still alive, just landed on some corpses, really.
And they just leave her ass?
Yeah.
Just imagine,
right.
She's like, hello?
Yeah.
And she was so nice. She's like, hey guys, can't be here. And then he's like, oh, gotta die.
Yeet. Now certain that the police are after her, Lisa loses her virginity to Creature, then convinces him to electrocute her in the tanning bed. Creature does as he's told, and Lisa burns to death. I'm like, wow, this jumped, really.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening? So she just wants to die as opposed to get caught?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, fair enough.
She has nobody to live for aside from Creature. Doesn't want to leave him alone, I guess. I don't know. Okay. All of a sudden, she loves Creature now. Again, it's like, I guess it doesn't really matter how they get there. They're in love now.
Yeah. I mean, it has Michael's penis. That's what it is.
Yeah. Best of both worlds, huh?
The best just a boat word. Creature has Michael's dick, and I ride it all night.
Wow, okay. Sometime later, Dale and Taffy visit Lisa and Janet's graves. The creature, now fully alive and able to speak, sits on a park bench and reads Percy Shelley's To Mary to a resurrected and bandaged Lisa as she lies on his lap.
Okay. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So she's good? She's alive now?
I guess so. I guess she was also brought back by lightning. I don't know how. I guess that must have been what happened. I don't know. Or since she died in the tanning bed? How are they bringing her back, though? Like, if it was that one tanning bed?
Yeah, also, she had to have been buried because they visit her grave.
True.
So was she unburied?
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to question
and then repeatedly electrocuted in a separate tanning bed?
Dude, tanning beds, man.
I guess.
Don't actually use them, but in this world, they're good.
Use them.
Use them. You will
Final
live forever.
Destination 3 would have you think otherwise. Don't use them. But this is how she ended, actually.
Right. Okay. Yeah, the whole last bit, I was like, what's going on?
I mean, I liked it. It was a happy ending with no consequences, which is just...
I know. Lisa doesn't have to deal with any of the issues that
she's created. No, and I mean, fair.
Good for her.
You know?
Honestly. Go for it.
I don't want that kind of trouble.
Also, technically, Creature is way older than her. And this is inappropriate.
Oh, yeah.
Is she 18? I don't think so. Just saying.
Yeah. And I mean, granted, he's from the 1800s. It was different then, but still, it's not different now.
It's not different now.
It's not different now.
Well, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. I guess we'd have to assume that he was younger than how old Cole Sprouse is, but he was probably like in his early 20s or something when he died.
Yeah. Something like that, right?
But still, not technically legal.
No. Not at all.
Yeah. How would you rank this?
So, my guess going into it, I put a 5.
Okay.
And I say it is a 4.
Yeah.
You know what, though? It's PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't that much gore.
There wasn't really.
Do you think a younger kid... No, there's a lot of sex and no.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 4.
Yeah. I feel like this is like a good teenager movie, but it's not scary. No.
It's not scary at all. But that's the thing.
It's hard to believe that it would be like the same category as like Imaginary. Because technically we're putting them both at 4.
Right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a 3, which is still in the family fun time section. But I would think if your kid watches this, watch it with your kid. Mm-hmm. If they're young enough, they won't like kind of catch some of the like
the sexual
vibrator is and stuff like that.
Stuff, yeah.
So I think,
the penis severing, I feel like it's clear that that's what happened.
It is. That's the thing.
I think you just got to be prepared to have that talk with them if you're going to watch something that implicitly discusses sex.
I mean, I'm thinking about. I mean, okay, so it's gory and it's violent to cut a penis off, but like even I saw like Titanic when I was a kid, and they show.
Oh, yeah, and then they have that sex scene in the carriage and stuff still. Yeah, I guess so. I know that there's, like, exceptions to every rule. That's why family fun time is kind of, like, a loose gray zone for it really just depends on the child, too. Like, if this is going to be, like, if something really bloody but isn't really overly scary isn't going to upset your kid, then, yeah, you could technically put this in a family fun time, watch this with your kid situation. But if your kid is easily put off by weird things or...
Yeah, there's mature themes. I'm going to stick with my 3 with the asterisk. Some parts are not suitable for children.
Yes.
But it's not, I don't want to put it as a 4 because it's a little scary. It's not scary.
No.
There's not anything scary about it.
Okay. I could be negotiated to 3. Yeah.
I would say 3.
I would say the PG-13 rating is accurate, though, too.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
Because, like, that's, like, the same rating as, like, Pirates of the Caribbean or something, too. Like, I mean, granted, you just need to be aware that there are sexual themes and, like, a little bit of blood during the penis severing. But, again, it's not like you're overtly, like, seeing
No, you don't even see
dick.
it. You see the shadow of it as it's flying through there.
Yes.
But, yeah, it's not scary. I would say if you took out the sex part, like, I could even see this being at, like, a PG rating. Like, sure. He's a silly, like, zombie.
Yeah. Honestly... Probably most parents could fast forward through, like, the last 20 minutes or something and just be like, yep, and then they ended up together.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I'm comfortable with my 3. I think, just maybe shield your kid's eyes during that scene, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even think it's 20 minutes, really. It's probably, like, more like 15.
Oh, the last,
Yeah, like, with them, like, cutting off the penis and then going to have sex, and then it's just on to her dying with him. Mm-hmm. So, which is fantastical in a way. You just have to think of it that way.
Yeah. 3.
3.
Sounds good.
Solid 3. I feel good about it.
Me too.
We're going to get on to our topic, but right before that, we're going to cut to a commercial break. Be right back.
Welcome to the Dead Podcast. I'm your host, Desi, and on this podcast, I discuss all things spooky and weird, from ghosts, demons, religion, to folklore, urban legends, true crime, and all things paranormal, with some horror movie reviews sprinkled in. So join me on this spooky ride.
Right, ready for our topic on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to start off by summarizing the plot of Mary Shelley's 1818 novel Frankenstein. In a series of letters, Captain Robert Walton narrates his dangerous journey to the North Pole to his sister. His mission is interrupted by impassable ice where he encounters Victor Frankenstein, weakened by the cold. Walton helps nurse him back to health and learns of the monster Frankenstein created.
Wait, Frankenstein was already created at this point?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh shit. Okay, full disclosure, I never read Frankenstein.
Neither have I. But yeah, there's a fair amount of time where Lisa Swallows. Lisa Swallows. No, where Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster are separated at one point because running away from each other in a way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Victor recounts his life. Driven by a desire to unlock the secret of life, he creates a creature but is horrified by its appearance and soon leaves the monster alone to contemplate his actions. The monster flees, leading Victor to Geneva, where he learns the monster murdered his brother and a family friend was wrongly executed for it.
Oops.
Yeah, big oopsie.
Bro, you can't just make somebody and then leave them.
And then be like, wow, that sucks. Like,
JK, bye. Like, no, you need to, like...
And especially being like, oh no, you Uggy. And then like, let's go. Like,
you saw when you were putting them together.
Right.
That he was Uggy.
Yes.
Like, that's your fault.
You could have done better.
Oh my god. Victor.
The monster eloquently explains that he only killed them out of fear after Victor abandoned him. The monster pleads for companionship, promising that if he had a mate that they would live out their lives peacefully in solitude, and Victor reluctantly agrees to create one. However, overcome by doubt, he destroys the second creature. Enraged, the monster vows revenge. Victor's friend is murdered as well as his new bride, Elizabeth.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, just a
this is
murder rampage after this point. Yeah.
So much death.
Mm-hmm. After Victor's father's death, he vows revenge and pursues the monster northward. Their paths almost converge, but the ice prevents it. Victor falls ill and dies shortly after.
Victor fucking dies?
Yeah.
From illness?
Uh-huh.
Not even revenge?
Not even revenge. Like, damn. Well, he was, like, pursuing him, and, you know, like, they came to, like, a bridge or something of ice, and he can't get over to the other side, so
he just fucking dies?
He gets sick from being on the ice, yeah.
I guess I'll die now.
Well, no. Too bad. Bye-bye, No. Sorry, that's mean.
It's funny, though.
When Walton encounters him, the monster appears and laments his loneliness. So he, like, actually cries over Victor's dead body after
Frankenstein?
Yeah. The monster.
Frankenstein's monster.
Victor Frankenstein and monster are separate. So,
yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, like, he's not actually called Frankenstein.
I know,
they just kind of got merged over time.
That I knew.
Yes.
But it's just easier to call him that.
Right, so, like, the monster cries over Victor Frankenstein's body because now he's alone. With Victor gone, the monster decides to end his own suffering and departs for the ice to die.
This ice.
He's like, yeah, he got him, he's gonna get me too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. And there's actually quite a few parallels to Mary Shelley's life, which I had no idea because, you know, it's Frankenstein.
Right, I don't know.
Yeah, so I read this really interesting article from the New Yorker in 2018 called The Life and Letters, The Strange and Twisted Life of Frankenstein by Jill Lepore. And this is really interesting, honestly. If you have the time, go read it, because it's got like lots of little tidbits about like the adaptations of Frankenstein, Mary Shelley publishing Frankenstein as a woman and having to pretend that, you know, like, oh no, I'm just a little woman, I don't have creative thoughts. Like,
what be those?
And I get into it lightly here, but
okay.
But this is just like a summary, really, of it, that rather than reading the full thing. It's very good. So if you have time, take a look. So they go over the origin and ever-changing legacy of Frankenstein. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus, is a novel that has captivated readers and scholars for over 2 centuries. The New Yorker's article, The Strange and Twisted Life of Frankenstein, provides a detailed look at the complex life of the author and the novel's profound impact on literature and society. Mary Shelley's journey to writing Frankenstein began in her late teens, a period marked by personal turmoil and loss. At just 18 years old, she started penning the novel during a time when she had already experienced the trauma of losing her first child, a baby who remained unnamed, much like the monster of her book. So, like, she never named her monster. It was just called Creature for a while, and sometimes people would just, like, say, blank for the monster's name. Like, it just had nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, in Shelley's diary, she wrote about her experience with this child that passed. She wrote, "Dreamed that my little baby came to life again, that it had only been cold, and that we rubbed it before the fire, and it lived. Awake and find no baby." This loss, along with the grief of her mother's death and childbirth, would shape the themes of creation, life, and death that are so central to Frankenstein.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's real dark.
That's sad.
It is very sad.
I don't like that.
In 1818, Mary Shelley made the decision to publish Frankenstein anonymously. This choice was influenced by the societal norms of the time and her personal circumstances, including the fear of losing custody of her children. That's crazy to me, too. Like, you can't write a book without being accused of being, like, an intelligent lady.
Yeah, how dare you?
The anonymity of the publication also speaks to the gender biases of the era, which often marginalized female authors. In the 1831 revised edition, when Shelley was revealed to have written the book, she claimed that the novel was just a dream she had transcribed to protect herself from the scrutiny of why a girl would create a story of such a hideous creature. So, like, they can't have her think that she actually created this. It just has to be a dream she wrote down.
Obviously.
Women don't got no thoughts.
No thoughts.
No thoughts, only babies.
Just a little baby with no thoughts or money.
Oh, no, I was referring actually to the Kansas City Chiefs player that's been going around now, too.
Oh, yeah.
That made the commencement speech.
I saw that.
When women had more babies than thoughts. Like, okay.
Sounds about right. I'm just kidding. Stephanie, you have no thought. Get out of here. This is my podcast now.
I'm suppressed.
You're being silenced.
Yes. The article points out that this moment is actually comparable to Dr. Frankenstein in her book looking down on his creation and being ashamed of what he's done. Frankenstein was received with a mixture of fascination and confusion, particularly by those who opposed political radicalism. The novel's complex structure, which includes the narratives within narratives, challenged readers and led to various interpretations, some of which were likely influenced by the political climate of the time. The novel's portrayal of the creature has explicit racial undertones, with the creature being depicted as African rather than European. This characterization aligns with the creature's experiences of alienation and otherness, which mirror the historical context of race and slavery during Shelley's lifetime.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There's, like, a lot of, like, symbolism to her life, to, like, what was going on at the time. It's really crazy. There's, like, a lot of different interpretations. Like, there's even, like, questions about, like, who is the real monster in Frankenstein? It's like, it's Frankenstein.
Yeah. It's Frankenstein.
Like, the doctor. Yeah.
For sure.
The creature's journey of self-education and the narrative of his experience draw a close parallel to the genre of slave narratives. This comparison further emphasizes the themes of freedom, autonomy, and the search of identity that are prevalent in both Frankenstein and the personal accounts of enslaved individuals seeking liberation. The article also touches on the personal tragedies that Mary Shelley endured throughout her life. By the time of her death, she had outlived nearly all of her loved ones, enduring a life filled with as much loss and chaos as the fictional world she created. These experiences undoubtedly influenced her writing and the themes she explored in her work. I believe it said somewhere, too, all of her children had died by the time she had died.
Oh.
Yeah, like...
Bro.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Right.
You're supposed to die before your kids.
Mm-hmm. The New Yorker's article offers a rich exploration of the life of Mary Shelley and the enduring legacy of her novel Frankenstein. It reveals the intricate connections between the author's personal history, the societal context of her time, and the profound themes that make Frankenstein a timeless and continually relevant work. The novel's exploration of creation, identity, and the human condition remains a powerful reflection on the complexities of life and the consequences of our actions.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the article. Really, like, not just, like, talking shit. This is
no, for real.
Legit good article to read.
Yeah, go read it.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that, this is the origin of Frankenstein's monster and Frankenstein and what we know of Frankenstein now. And then we have, Lisa Frankenstein.
Which is, way down the ladder of, where all these adaptions have come from.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's, all the symbolism from the original. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of seemed like it was boiled down to just the monster.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. There was, actually a lot of different interpretations, too. She originally wrote Frankenstein to be, eloquently spoken. He was smart and could talk and stuff like that. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But then several adaptations later and stuff, Frankenstein all of a sudden doesn't speak at all and just grunts and stuff like that. So
what happened?
Yeah. In a sense, too, people, compared it to being, muddled together, much like Frankenstein, too. It's just, whatever people took and interpreted it. But also it was, a little insulting to Mary Shelley, too, because they, don't want to use what the woman wrote that the monster said.
We're going to change this.
Yeah.
Big dumb.
Yeah, big dumbs.
Interesting. I remember, people in high school read Frankenstein or had to read Frankenstein for something. I always heard it was just kind of a boring book. But it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
But, at some point with the older book, I don't understand what they're saying anymore.
Yeah. Even, her own quote, I was like, ooh, I don't get it. How it reads,
Yeah. I tried to read Sweeney Todd, the original.
Oh, really? No?
I was like, what are you
Damn,
saying?
I would read it, but...
You can borrow it.
I don't know.
If you
can't read it, I don't know if I could.
Well, it's not that I couldn't read it. I just...
The language.
I didn't have the patience to try to decipher some of the things. But I also like popcorn books that are just, nice and fun. So. But
no, I was one of those SparkNote kids after a while, especially for books like The Scarlet Letter. I was like, I can't take 2 pages.
Oh, no.
I can't take 3 pages describing just a door.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy the show and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, giving us a 5-star rating is super helpful, and we'll always appreciate it.
Spotify users can now comment on our episodes, so we'd love to hear from you on how we're doing. You can even, send us some recommendations if you want on stuff that you'd want us to watch.
Yes, always.
That would be fun. Honestly, we just want you guys to comment. I'm lonely. Just comment me.
Stephanie has no friends.
I have no friends. Don't make me Lisa Frankenstein.
Oh, no. I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm going to have to murder Alex first if I do that. And you can find us on social media using 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams, and we will see you next week.
And I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten where I started fighting for. And if I have to crawl upon the floor, come crashing through your door, baby, I can't fight this feeling anymore.
You're just so prepared now.
Yay!
Yay songs!
Yay songs!